that's actually what normally the police officers do, always reach little late. I am supposed to speak on the ICT in transport system. So, as a police officer, I will not actually talk about something relating to how infrastructure development takes place with the help of IT in transport sector. I'll talk something very mundane, very practical. We have something now, something called intelligent transport systems, where we use ICT to the hilt and see that the system operates and prevents, basically to ensure safety and security. That part only I will cover in this particular talk, very brief talk. Well, ICT has actually transformed the transport sector in a way. See, it starts with the issuance of license, driving license. For example, earlier days, you fill up a particular form and give it to them and give some money, and after some time they will give you a kind of a passport kind of thing with a not very attractive, and that used to be the driving license. These days, we have the smart driving licenses, which is just like a credit card, and it has some information embedded in that. You can read that by a card reader or something. That is definitely one of the good things which have happened. But more so, what in Kerala and some other parts of the country also are being done is that the test which is taken for issuance of a driving license is now heavily dependent on information technology. For example, some years back, when one of my friends from India actually migrated to Canada, both wife and husband, after some months, they told me, yeah, we are not getting the driving license in Canada. I said, what happened? He said, look, they take so difficult test that everything is actually controlled by a computer, and you go and drive, and if you just trade a particular line or just miss a line, then there is a beep, there is an alert in the system, and you are failed. So I said that is what is precision. You have to necessarily actually drive in that particular manner. It's not a zigzag kind of thing which you can always afford to do it. More so, then they said, they also take a driving test during the night hours. That is also seen by some intelligent cameras. It's not much of human intervention, and it is all analyzed in a system. A kind of, may not be that sophisticated. We have also a system now in Kerala where you have to drive, and in a cubicle you can see with a particular monitor that how whether you are doing it properly. If you are making a mistake, the program actually shows you that you are not actually fit to drive. So this is a kind of thing which I really liked, considering the fact in Delhi, where I spent so many years, they say that in Delhi you give $5,000 and you can get a license. May not be actually a very generalized statement, but there were middlemen, touts, etc., who used to get the license and give it to you by giving money, even if you don't actually know much of the driving. Or when we had a seminar on road safety in Delhi, the Delhi police officers used to tell me, sir, what to do? Those people, Delhi is such a place, lot of people come from outside, from different places. They are not that educated. They are not that actually they fail to recognize even the traffic signs, etc. But they get a license, and they start driving even heavy vehicles on Delhi roads. And that end in definitely big accidents, etc., where fatalities also occur. So this particular ICT enabled driving license issuing system is definitely a very good thing, and I only hope that as a part of governance, it's a part of e-governance. A part of governance, if that comes through in all states, it will be good. And you might be knowing that the new, if you have not gone through, please, I request you to go through, download and see the new Road Safety Act, which is going to be enacted in the Parliament, and there are consultations going on that. This particular act has brought in some paradigm shifts in transport sector. I don't know how much of the provisions will be accepted by the parliamentarians, and it is their prudence and their knowledge and their convictions which will matter. But the expert group which has formulated that, I had met one or two members of them, they are very particular. They have actually put a provision like this, that you can get a driving license confined if you are going to drive from a state, if you are confined to that state. That means you can drive with that license issued by, say, Kerala government or Kerala transport authorities, if you are driving inside Kerala. If you want to drive interstate, then you have to get the license from a central authority. So there is an issue relating to center state and the constitution, whether this is acceptable or constitutional amendment will be required. That's a different matter. But why this was, I asked, why you have actually incorporated such kind of provision? He said, look, we have so much of different terrains in this particular country. Say a particular person who knows how to drive in a hilly area, he has to actually have different skill than a person who drives, say, in a plain area or in a desert. So therefore, a particular person who is a very good driver may be in Kerala, may not be a very good driver in Rajasthan. So this is the way, and they have brought in a kind of comparison, like issuing of an arms license. You can actually have an arms license issued from Kerala if you are going to use the arms only inside Kerala. If you want to use it interstate, say in Tamil Nadu or in Karnataka as well as in Kerala, then you have to go to the Ministry of Home Affairs, which issues the license. They say that that particular thing we have brought in. Okay, that is a part of national security and internal security issue, but this is the issue relating to the transport, which is there in the state list. It is a state affair. But this is, so therefore, whether that will come through or not is a different matter. But this is actually not relating to the ICT I'm talking about. This is a general kind of thing which I thought I should bring to the notice of the House. Now, as far as the intelligent transport system is concerned, it has different components. One of the components is definitely proper regulation of traffic and reduction of accidents. Now, you might be all aware of, all of you must be driving some vehicle or other. In India, what happens if there is an accident? If a bigger vehicle hits a smaller vehicle, the bigger vehicle becomes accused. If a pedestrian is crossed, then the vehicle will be the accused. The vehicle driver will be the accused. Notwithstanding the fact there is fault on the part of the pedestrian who might have come and get crossed by a vehicle. So, what is the actual cause? What is the reason for that particular accident? If you take the statistics from the police, probably you are going to reach a wrong conclusion. Therefore, when you say that road engineering, enforcement are very important for traffic accident reduction, where we are, when we are talking about that our conclusion in terms of the investigation carried by the police is wrong, that every time the accident takes place, it may not be a case that the bigger vehicle is at fault. So, in fact, some years back in Kerala, we introduced a particular system based on the IT. That used to be the name of that particular solution used to be called the GeoCams. This particular program, this solution was devised by a company for Western Australia, the Western Australian Police, and it has different layers and it has different components. One of the components was analyzing the accident. You put around 13 parameters in a particular format. Say for what was the light condition, what was the road, all these things you put it, and the algorithm gives you a particular kind of thing that, yes, this could be the possible reason for accident. I'm happy to say that a little modified version of the GeoCams is in use by Tamil Nadu. And they are able to analyze accident more empirically than many other states. So in the recent time, when we are in the police, Indian police, we are implementing something called the CCTNS project, Crime and Criminal Network Tracking System, which will be implemented in 14,700 police stations, which have already been, some phase is over. So in the specialized solutions, which will reside over the top of the database of the CCTNS, we are now proposing this particular type of solution to reside, so that the accidents which actually end in registration of a case, investigation by the police, to actually analyze what really has happened. So there will be definitely difficult things culturally when we are actually having a mindset that bigger vehicle has to be made accused. So in the process, probably we will change over the period of time and say that we analyze the accidents and really find out the cause, whether it is due to the faulty road engineering or otherwise, or it was due to or vehicular problem or something like that. So this is one of the things which we are trying to do right now, and it is up to the Government of India to take a call on this particular thing. This particular software uses heavily the GIS and as well as the analytics to actually analyze the accident. My question is that the other thing which has been also implemented in a city like Jaipur is that automated traffic management system. It is not the question of only the cameras which are going to capture the red light violations or the, crossing the Lakshman Rekha or the kind of traffic lines, etc., etc. But it is much more than that. What we are trying to do is, we wanted to automate the traffic signals in a manner so that there will be no congestion at a particular place. And this was actually experimented by the Kolkata police with the help of Keltron and the CDAC some time back. But Kolkata police could not implement it the way it should have because of the kind of traffic there. So now I only hope the experiment which is going on in Jaipur is successful. If that is successful, the Government of India has allotted more than 100 crores for this particular project, which is to be implemented in 64 cities. I only hope this particular thing works and we are in a better position to enforce and regulate. This is the automated traffic management system. I just don't want to take much of your time. The last thing which I wanted to tell you is that we lose so many people every year on the roads. Somebody said that we lose much more people's life than even terrorist attacks on road accidents. So it is incumbent on us to think over, because Ravi and his group of people who are so committed to e-governance, I only hope they also give such thought to accident reduction which will save lives. Definitely, it is a very important part in governance to think in that particular way, that how to reduce the accident, how to reduce the fatalities. And as you know that the country is known as a progressive or a developed country. If you a developed country, there is a superb system of accident management or prevention of accident or reduction of accident. You will be having accidents in the United States of America, I'm not saying, but the kind of accidents which take place in our country and the kind of things which you see on the road when you are driving, that doesn't happen in most of the developed countries. When we are developing, we have to necessarily think that more we actually concentrate on this particular aspect of work, probably the development will be better. This is what I personally feel, not as a police officer, but as a common citizen of this country. So as far as the last thing which I wanted to tell you is that the ICT's use in the mass transport, like the metros, there are actually lot of security systems, including cameras, intelligent cameras, use of analytics, the database management, everything in the mass transport system like a metro, etc., are in place. You can actually have a look of the control room of the Delhi Metro, and which is actually being replicated in Cochin now. They will be actually running by next year. So we are also trying to put that particular kind of softwares, etc., to give us a lot of actually information relating to the safety and security of not only the trains, but also of the passengers. This is last year, when there was a conference of US and India dialogue on internal security. This was one of the issues which has been raised by both the sides, and they said that there will be a synergy between them to take the best practices in relation to the use of technology in ensuring the safety and security in the mass transit. I'm very happy that I could come and speak to you a bit about about the issues. There are a lot of issues relating to the intelligent transport management, and I'm sure e-governance group with Ravi at the helm of affairs will do something very good and very pioneering in the days to come. Thank you.